Welcome back to Ships at War. This has just undergone a massive update. Now you can see here we've got different factions of the ships. It's a lot better looking. The UI is significantly better. I could probably take some notes for Bot Wars on how to make good UI. But we have a whole number of new ships, including a submarine cruiser. Welcome back! But the way in which battles take place and even the way in which ships move and fire has been completely changed. Like, the depth of the ocean has been greatly increased. The gun batteries are gonna fire slower now, but they're going to do more damage. It's supposed to make gameplay more strategic and interesting. Now, this is pretty interesting already. This is a project submarine. Most submarines are armed with torpedoes. They're rarely ever armed with deck guns. These have 10-inch guns. It's like a destroyer, but it's not. Let's dive, dive, dive. 30 meters, Captain. She can't take much more of it, Captain. Actually, we'll go a nice 18-meter dive. And what did German U-boats go after the most during the war? Well, that's simple. Transport ships. So we're gonna dive to 30 meters, which is pretty close to 100 feet. Regular feet, not gerbil feet. That'd be like 10,000 gerbil feet. And what we're gonna do is get behind the enemy. Now, it uses steam. Did you see that? It would be minus... What was that all about? I'm genuinely curious. It said white and red, so I think I can go to here, maybe? Oh, we have to generate steam. Steam is a resource that you use and lose. That is curious, and then we can generate more. Look at these things. They're actually producing more steam. So once again, another massive change to how Ships at War works. There's also a ton of new ships, including some big bad battleships that we're going to show off a little bit later. So this is the part where, you know, we are sinking. No, we're not sinking. We're thinking about, like, what would it be like to be a U-boat captain? You know, the undersea boot. This is Das Boot. I like the sound effects are pretty good, because if you listen carefully... Look at that. Look at that beauty. It sounds like an electric motor is running, which is how U-boats worked. When they were underwater, electric. When they were on the surface, diesel. And we have a fast forward button. Oh, thank you. Bless us and save us, Mrs. O'Davis. This is amazing. Now we've generated more steam, so what we should be able to do is now get over to here. So we want to get, like, as far as we can, so about 1,200 steam. And we are actually going to dive to, like, 42 meters because we don't want to scrape this ship. We're assuming this is a bunch of Dutch merchants, so they got a lot of seals on board because I just made that up. And we don't want all of our superstructure here to scrape the ship and alert them of our presence and the fact that we are about to plunder their booty. Now the issue is, all of our torpedoes are at the front, but we are a cruiser sub. We want to use our deck guns. So here is our termination point. Look at this. Like, isn't this amazing? Bing! This is when the sonar pings go and they drop their depth charges and we're like, 99999! And bad things start to happen, at least according to what I've seen in pop culture. But what if we just, emergency surface! Woo! Woo! Now, which guns are the rear guns? I actually don't know. Torpedo launchers in the front. I'm assuming it's fire group 2. So, we surface behind the enemy ship. Und fire the cat! Well, not yet. Oh, look, that's nice. You press them and they'll blink yellow, right? So that you see what you got. Fire the cannons! Now, we fire super high, but remember, we're gonna fire much, much slower. Look at this reload rate. And allegedly, they're going to do more damage. Now, what I'm actually really, really curious about is this. If we submerge to 42 meters again, which seem to be pretty good, what if I want to go back this way? Oh, we turn around! Okay, hold on. Let's just, let's get on the surface here, and let's fire torpedoes. Because this is what's supposed to do most of the damage. And now we can do primary guns and torpedoes. And we'll speed this puppy up. Oh my gosh, are we gonna ram them? Now what would be really cool is if you could have crews and, like, board the enemy ship. We're probably a little bit too close to fire a torpedo. Oh, this thing is taking on water. I think our cannon shots must have hit the water, or rather hit the ship, and put some holes in it. What I would really love for this game to do is have a big magazine detonation, or Wow, this thing sinks much faster. I guess we are at 4x speed. I want a better UI indication that, hey, you put some holes in that ship. Now, while the Project 50 has to be one of the more unique and new ships, we also have something else that looks interesting. This is the HMS Odin, and other than a very, very small 4-inch gun, it's mostly armed with torpedoes, so pretty similar to what we've done in the past already. But it definitely looks really, really unique, and they have a rear-firing torpedo launcher. But even this is very unconventional for a submarine. But I think there's just some marketability to like, hey, this submarine isn't like normal submarines. It's an aircraft carrier, or it's a battleship. But to quote the great American poet, P.D. Pablo, North Carolina, come on, raise up, take your shirt off, twist it around your head like a helicopter. We don't have helicopters on this North Carolina class battleship, but what we do have is some fighter air cover. Now, this is one of the biggest, baddest battleships there was, the North Carolina. P.D. Pablo loved it so much he made a song out of it. And this, my friends, this is paused. That's illegal. This is the Yamato, and they're breaking the game. Okay, so let's fire the guns, and we've got some Hellcats. So we've got what? We've got primary 16-inchers, and we've got secondary 10-inchers. 2 secondaries, 2 primaries. These Hellcats are going to do, I think, a decent job at keeping what looks like a torpedo bomber from being able to hit and destroy us. So, Hellcats, yeah. See how they're dropping down early and gonna fly very low to the Groja? AKA low to the water? Yeah. Boom, you mother truckers! America. Well, these guys should shoot down these torpedo bombers, hopefully before they get in and get nasty. We don't want them to get nasty. There's one down. There's the second. And there's the third. And now the Hellcats are probably going to be able to go on a strafing mission. We had them coming in and kind of hitting the back there. You know, hitting it from the back. Now we are taking some damage. You can see shells! Holy biscuits, boy, we going down! Oh my god, okay, that is terrible. Look at this. We also have liquid fuel bunkers. That's great and all, except we're dying. So that Yamato just absolutely destroyed the bottom of my ship. We have what's called significant problems. Now that, ooh, that took out a secondary 10-inch battery, rear-facing, so it's not that big of a deal. Oh, our Hellcats are getting destroyed. However, look, this ship looks like it's got some issues. I don't know if it just was hitting or if it's the water, but it was kind of rocking back and forth. So I have hope that we've at least started to get it to start taking on water. But what would be really cool is if this game, if you could have like a little more control over your systems, like bilge pumps, flooding out, like getting out the flooding water, fire control systems, things like that would be really, really cool. All right, we need some big hits. Well, ask and you shall receive. We just got some magazine hits, so I don't know how much damage that did below the waterline. Oh, that one went through. But we do have some magazine hits in and around the center of the structure, but I don't know if it's enough. So you can see how, oh, okay, we detonated that. I feel like we've got to aim here, because if we can take out their guns, at least we can turn this into a slugging match and hopefully, you know, outlast, which looks like a questionable strategy given the fact that we're gonna sink eventually. All right, can we get some more Hellcats out here? No, they're still rearming and reloading. Okay, that was the biggest hit I've seen in ships at war. So much so that we had a frame rate loss. We have our liquid fuel bunkers sinking. The ship just broke in half. We're firing our last salvo probably before this thing goes down. The Yamato isn't a piece of junk anymore. Remember when it was a piece of junk? They changed it. That's how big the changes are in ships at war. Is now what once used to be just a glass cannon is now a cannon that turns you to glass. Your men are dead! You're lost! Your ship sunk. It looks like a little zombie hand sneaking out of the water there. Now we also got a new aircraft carrier. The USS Lexington. 69% offense. That is a nice number. Now it's only fair that we pit an American carrier against an Axis one. We'll go German. We have 69% offense. We don't have a lot of defense, but you know, the best defense is a strong offense. Holy biscuits. We have some 8-inch gun batteries facing forward and rear, or fore and aft, I believe. We have Dauntless dive bombers, torpedo bombers, and 2 things of Hellcats. Is this the, like, 6 squadrons? Oh my gosh, but look at this, man. They got, like, some pretty good looking guns. Alright, so we want to fire our guns over here, and then we want to launch a fighter group first. Then dive bombers around the midships, and then torpedo bombers. We'll have 1 drop early and 1 drop even a little bit earlier. And we're gonna have ourselves, oh, unfortunately, it's a night battle, but you can see the action right here. So sending out our fighters to deal with their Stuka dive bombers and then their Messerschmitts, which I'm not sure if the Germans have torpedo bombers, but look at this, man. Look, it's like hornets. It's like 2 beehives just going at it. Man, beehives really would be like, if you wanted to make like real world but bug wars, the bees would be like the aircraft, right? Like, or aircraft carriers, you could have just this giant honeycomb ship. Okay, so dive bombers are actually making it through. Unfortunately, so are theirs. So I need to fire my 2nd squadrons here. Torpedoes are in the water. Oh, we're dropping them a little bit late. I'm trying to launch fighters because their Stukas are running havoc right now. All right, there we go. Let's go. Maybe we need to launch torpedoes a little bit earlier, I think is the way, the truth, and the life right here. That's what we gotta do. Oh, Dauntless bombers. Ooh, they are taking on water, and they're listing to the front. I think the torpedoes did a lot more damage. In the past, these battles would kind of take a while, and then all of a sudden, like, someone just, like, massive detonation. Let's take a look here. It's funny how I'm on, like, pause, and it's not pausing me. Oh, there we go. We got a pause. We're having flooding in the back. So it'd be kind of cool, though, if carriers had, like, elevators. So if you had flooding or fires here, you wouldn't be able to use that, right? Fortunately, we're still able to rearm and reload. And we're definitely listing in the back. They're listing in the front. But I think that favors us to being able to continue to launch our aircraft, and it doesn't really favor them. However, do we have any planes up right now? Where's all of our planes at? Are they dead? Did their Messerschmitts really just kill everybody? One thing we could do is start moving to make us a little bit more difficult, but they had multiple magazine detonations. These guns can't even fire. A dive bomb just went right through and blew up all of the magazines. That is unfortunate, if you're us. Alright. And you can hear the sound effects. Alright, this is what? A torpedo bomber. 8-inch guns. Dive bombers, torpedo bombers. Trying to just launch everything. I think, even though we have really, really good offense... Oh, incoming shells. Those were big. Oh, man, I love the new sound effects. You can actually see, like, through the ship right now. Luckily, we still have some fuel. And they even have health. And how much bonus they give to the steam power, which I think is really, really cool. None of our planes are really getting through. I take that back. We have 3 torpedo bombers. Now, they have some anti-aircraft fire. 1's down. Come on, one of you got to get through. Drop your dang torpedo, man. There it is. Boom. Now, was it enough? Probably not. We are going down, but we had a pretty fun duel with a German Graf Zeppelin aircraft carrier here. But it does look like we lost. Yeah. When a decent amount of your ship is underwater, yeah, you've lost. So at this point, like, you can continue to watch the battle, which I do like. But needless to say, Ships at War has had a massive update that has made it significantly more realistic and more fun. And when you're doing both of those for a World War II ship battle simulator, well, then by golly, you've done it right. Look at that. We have detonations. The ship is breaking apart. One day, Mr. Cameron is going to get in his little mini-sub and find this thing and make a movie about it starring Leonardo DiCaprio, who is on the Lexington and part of that 69% offensive attack. But today is not that day. Anyway, thank you for watching another episode of Ships at War. If you guys do want to see more, well, pull the trigger on the like button and let me know. And I'll see you in the next one.